Today, I want to offer an exercise, a somatic exercise called love. This practice is an opportunity to begin falling in love with yourself. Sometimes we move into this world waiting for someone else to give us what we didn't receive in our childhood, thinking that someone else can fill these gaps that are present in our existence, when ultimately no one can fill any gaps, or no one holds such power. And we shouldn't even give such power away, because by doing so, we create a mechanism of dependency and confluence that bind us to dynamics that are not particularly healthy. And I wouldn't call dynamics of love. The word love itself is often associated with just positive feelings. Love ultimately is an integration of all that is, an acceptance and a way of welcoming reality and the other in their wholeness, not just in their light, but also in their shadows, without wanting to change them. And it's important to have an understanding of the patterns that we hold, because these patterns are present before anyone else steps into our life. We move from parents to partner without developing awareness of what we are holding within. What is it that I'm bringing into this relationship? What is it that is unresolved within my own existence that is playing out unconsciously in my life? And this doesn't mean that it needs to be resolved before you step into any relationship, because it's impossible, but just starting to develop an awareness so you can own and understand and express these partners. You can explain them to the other. This is my defense mechanism. This is how I protect myself. This is what I do when I feel hurt. This is what I do when I feel unseen, when I perceive that I'm not being seen or validated. What's lacking in our relationships is accountability, responsibility, and ownership of who we are. And if we don't know who we are, we can't step into the relational field expecting that the other one sees us, understands us. They don't know. They are not us, and no one can know us in the way we only can. We are unique human beings, uniquely wired emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, energetically. It's our job to figure that out. It's no one else's job to do that for us, and it really shouldn't be. Before you give that power away to anyone else, think about, how can I get to know myself with honesty, with compassion, with integrity, with authenticity, to develop the understanding, the care I need to provide to myself? How can I bring in more acceptance of all parts of me, the nice one, the good ones, but also the challenging ones, the ones that step in to defend, to protect, the part of me that have been hurt, rejected, abandoned, but also the part of me that reject, blame, because if we move it in the world, always with the mentality that is only the other one doing things to us, something is missing. It's not always the other one. We are playing a part too. We are participating in that dynamic as well. And we need to be able to see that. How am I contributing to the dynamic, to the patterns that are playing out? Demanding love, demanding to be seen, demanding to be understood. No one owns us anything. We can't move into the world demanding things from other people, because first of all, we need to look into ourselves and look at our faults, our challenges, our values. What are we bringing into this world? We can't ask someone else to give us something that we do not give. So I hope this explains the exercise. The LOVE acronym stands for L, look within, explore what's going on inside you. Then we have O, which means own your story, your unique story. And then we have V, which is about validate your emotions yourself, accept them, meet them where they are without trying to change them straight away. And then we have E, which is about embracing and nurturing what's within, and providing for ourselves what's missing. So developing the skills, filling the gaps that we may think we have or that we may have. So find a nice space for you to practice for a few minutes and take your time to really settle in that space. You may want to take a few breaths. I like to breathe in through the nose and very gently, very slowly out through the mouth. And let's do that for a few times, breathing in through the nose and breathing out slowly through the mouth. And then allowing your presence to land into this very moment, into your space, into your life. Becoming a little explorer of the self. Explorers are curious. And the invitation is to start looking within, activating your inner eyes to connect with a part of you that may be challenging at this time, that may be painful, that may feel misunderstood. Perhaps that part is showing up organically for you in this moment. And we're not here to judge that part, to analyze it, to change it, but simply to observe that aspect of you. To notice what that part, that aspect is made of. And perhaps as you do that, you can acknowledge maybe mistakes that you think you have made. Maybe that part brings up a specific pattern in your life. Maybe there's a specific emotion that is a part of that experience. Physical sensations, a specific thought, or an inner belief that comes up. And just breathe through this exploration. As you become more and more curious, this aspect will start trusting you and may start telling you a little bit more about why they're there. As you observe this aspect of yourself unfolding, the suggestion here is to bring in a sense of acceptance. And acceptance means an attitude of welcoming. Perhaps you notice that you want to reject that part, you want to push it away, you feel resistance or tension in the body, and that's fine. But if you can, I would like you also to connect with a sense of acceptance. Imagining welcoming that vulnerable aspect of yourself in the same way you will accept and welcome a little child, with the same tenderness, with the same care. Embrace that aspect of you, removing, if you can, any form of judgment or preconcepts you may have. To be very, very open. And as you start accepting and embracing this part of you, accepting that this aspect is a part of your life journey, perhaps has been present for a long period of time, maybe for a short period of time, but see it as a passenger in your journey. And that passenger is holding meaning, is holding a specific purpose. Perhaps is here to teach you resilience, to test your boundaries, to help you heal specific patterns in your life. Why is this aspect present in my life experience? What is this part, this aspect here for? What is it trying to teach me or to show me? And I would like to make that part more and more concrete. Maybe you want to give it a color, you want to give it a shape or texture, or maybe you want to give it a sound. And as you do that, you may notice that you can play with it. And you also are in control of it. And it's just a representation of an aspect of you, but it's not the whole of you. And you can isolate that aspect of your life. You can focus on that specific behavior or feeling, and you can understand it more. And as you allow that part of you to exist in your life, to be a part of your journey, see if you can take a moment to validate the feelings or emotions that that part of you is holding, to really meet them as they are. Perhaps you may validate that pain or the hurt. You can say things to yourself such as, I see you now, I recognize you, I'm hearing you, and bring about a sense of compassion. Even if that part of you has been challenging and has been difficult to deal with, I would like you to feel a sense of compassion towards it, if possible. And sometimes when we are able to be present with the parts of us that we find difficult, something magical happens. The moment we listen and we see and validate, something starts shifting organically and automatically. Something starts softening because the part of us that is struggling is finally able to start trusting and relaxing and doesn't feel rejected anymore. And then ultimately embracing and nurturing that part, nourishing that part, and maybe noticing what does that part needs from you to become more confident, to become more present, to become more patient, to become more collaborative, to stop fighting you. We can create bridges between polar opposite forces so these different perspectives can communicate and start regulating and harmonizing and may become closer to one another. It may take a little bit of time for extreme parts of the self to find agreement, to harmonize, but we can start building bridges. So these aspects that we may have left behind or we struggle to integrate in our experience can feel part of our whole, our core. Or maybe it's time for them to go. We help them grow and then eventually we let them go if they need to go. And just taking a few breaths there as you're holding that part. And then noticing how your body's feeling now. Noticing what kind of emotions are present in your experience. And then in your own time, in your own way, finding a way to say goodbye for today. And you can go and visit anytime, or you can work with a different part or aspect of yourself another day. Acknowledging that care and compassion will remain, and you will continue to nurture that part of you, to help that part of you grow, mature, evolve with the conscious effort to communicate, to be present, to be attentive, to see, to hear. And maybe taking a moment to say thank you. thank you to yourself and thank you to that part of you. And then bringing your hands over your heart and taking 3 deep breaths at this level. And then gently you can start moving and stretching the body, feeling the body, returning to full awareness. And if your eyes were closed, you can start opening your eyes. Take a nice look around, noticing the colors, the shapes of the objects around you, noticing the temperature of the room. And I hope that you have found this practice helpful. Your feedback is very appreciated, and enjoy the rest of your day.